who helped us to get here. All of those grassroots volunteers that, I'm gonna step back from the mic a little bit, it's a little hot, who pounded the pavement, who knocked on doors, who made phone calls. Like, what would we be without those dedicated, wonderful people? And that's what brings us here tonight, is to celebrate some of the activism, the long-term activism from some of our volunteers. But honestly, none of this would be possible without some of the members of our crowd. I'm gonna call out a few people here real quick. I've got a little bit of a list. I may not get everybody, please apologize. We haven't done this in almost 3 years, so we're trying to get ourselves put back together here. But we've got Mark McPherson with the Teamsters Local 37, who donated to this wonderful event. Angela Desposito, who helped us coordinate from the the Heat and Frost Insulators, Local 36. Jaime Rodriguez, president of AFTE Oregon, who I've had the pleasure of watching on a lot of meetings, and honestly, just seems like a really fantastic guy, even though I haven't met him in person. So maybe if he's here tonight, I get to say hello. And hopefully Marshall McGrady is here with IBEW. They were also contributors to this event. And if you know, we need electricians. I'm gonna get this a little bit wrong. Mike Silvaggio, political director. Woo! UFC 55 local. Thank you all so much for helping make this possible. We also had a lot of contributions from IATSE, as well as the Studio Mechanics Northwest 488 of IATSE, Northwest Oregon Labor Council, AFL-CIO. We also had some contributions from Representative Bonamici. She is here. Thank you for joining us this evening, and Representative Daisha Graber as well. We also had some donations from Representative Rob Nose, Senator Dembro, and Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum. We also had some contributors out of our own party: Gretchen Hollins, Sandra Hansberger, Danielle Stevens, and Britton Taylor. Thank you all so much for donating. But mostly none of this happens without you all. None of this happens without you all participating, being involved, financial contributions, your time, which is worth a lot of money in my opinion. And it's been a really special opportunity to be the chair of Multnomah County and to be the head of this. But I don't have a speech. Thank you all for participating in this democracy, and thank you for helping us to be successful. And I definitely want to say thank you, Laurel, for inspiring me to take on this role. You were fantastic.
I'm glad you did. Okay. Oregon remains democratic, liberal, and progressive when Multnomah County votes. And it's because of all of you that we vote, and we do win, and Multnomah County and the state of Oregon are in good hands. We have thus elected the next generation of Democrats who will lead us into the few years coming forth. Some of us, as we celebrate the next generation, we will reflect upon how we were young and visionary and rebellious in our day. We thought the world would be better as we opposed foreign wars in far-off lands, the ongoing wars of aggression. We fought for civil rights and LGBT rights and so many other things. Our world is better, but at least for me, it could still be a lot better. And that's why we must continue to work with all of our great leaders here tonight to push those things forward. Our next generation starts from a place where censorship, propaganda, and surveillance have become normative. Lucky for us, our next generation is called upon to step into the future and make some changes. At this point, I would like to introduce our great Senator, Jeff Merkley, Democrat from the great state of Oregon, representing us in Washington, D.C. We recently passed in Oregon a bill 112, Measure 112, and I understand that Senator Merkley is leading that same effort in Washington, D.C. So Perhaps we'll hear about that. Also, Senator Merkley is on the Appropriations Committee, bringing money to Oregon, hopefully. So with that, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hey, good evening, everybody. We have in the House our former governor, Barbara Roberts. Barbara, can you stand up? It's right down here. Yay. And there's another celebrity I want to make sure you meet tonight, and that's Jamie McLeod Skinner, who fought a hell of a race. Wherever you are. Jamie, thank you for fighting so hard, and we are looking forward to hearing what your next challenge is so we can all help out. And this time, wherever you, where you are? Where are you? Oh, over here? There you are? Well, anyway, we're glad, there you are, all right, there she is. Okay. You know, they said there's going to be a red tsunami coming at Oregon this year. A lot of people were betting against Oregon Democrats and Multnomah County Democrats, but you know what they say, never bet against Multnomah County Democrats. You came through, well done. And one place Multnomah County really came through was helping on those statewide ballot measures. And I got to tell you, these four things really did matter. First of all, that health care is a right, and that should, in fact, be in our Constitution, 111. And how about that slavery does not belong in our Constitution, and we got it out of our Constitution. And 113, that if you don't show up for the job, you don't get to keep your job as a state representative or state senator. You know, that thing was near and dear to me because in the Senate, we have the problem of a minority veto. That is, if Mitch McConnell controls 41 votes, he can block every single policy bill we do. And that's what the Republicans were doing in the House and Senate in Oregon. We know how that has destroyed good policy work in the US Senate, and we don't want it in Oregon. So we really hope this measure works well so Democrats can do the things that were there on health care and housing and education and good paying jobs. And the fourth was gun safety. And it was a squeaker, but we wouldn't have gotten it done without Multnomah County. So thank you very much. It puts really Oregon in the lead of working on gun safety around the country. And speaking of gun safety, you know, gun safety and climate and LGBTQ rights and reproductive rights, those are things that Gen Z really cares about. And all our Gen Z guests, can you stand up for a minute so we can say thank you to you? All right. This is the future right here. You know, the powerful have lawyers who work day and night. They have lobbyists that swarm Salem and swarm Capitol Hill. And they have media campaigns that try to change how people think about things. We have grassroots action. And in that regard, I want to thank the some 2,207 neighborhood leaders who knocked on 120,000 doors. The turnout among those targeted individuals, those 120,000 doors, 90%. Take that. That must be some kind of a national record. That was incredibly well done. So our mantra is put it in the box. Put it in the mailbox, put it in the drop box. Don't leave it on your counter, and we really got that done. I'm going to now have the privilege to introduce our next governor, Tina Kotek. Yeah. Come on up, Tina. Tina, Tina, Tina. Oh, this is almost like a campaign rally. And we had a few of those across the state. And I want to tell you, it was so much fun campaigning with Tina because when she got up there, she knew what she was about. She knew she was about taking on affordable housing on this state. She knew, yes, indeed. What we need, she knew that we had to strengthen education, especially after COVID had such an impact on our youngsters. She knew that we had to together improve healthcare in our state and take on good paying jobs and take on climate, because let me tell you, everything else, if we don't get it done, and climate is going to just destroy us in the generations to come. So she knew what she was about. She carried the message to every corner of the state. She had an extraordinarily interesting and unusual situation with a Democrat turned independent who made a mess of things. But it didn't matter. With her leadership and our partnership, she got it done. And we're so glad you're there.
Thank you, Jeff. Senator Merkley, everyone. It's good to see you all tonight. How's everybody doing?
Hey.
So I had the opportunity to go to New Orleans for a Democratic Governors Association meeting. There's just a couple new governors. It was a good night for Democrats. And I was on this panel and they said, "What did you learn from your campaign?" And I said, "Don't have a three-way race." But we won nonetheless, and that's why I'm here tonight. I want to start off, first of all, I'm just very excited to be here as your governor-elect. Thank you for making that happen. You know, because I'm here tonight because I believe in appreciation and gratitude, and I really want to thank all of the hardworking volunteers in the Multnomah County Democrats and your friends and your family, because when you're a volunteer in the Multnomah County Democrats, you make sure everybody comes along with you in the election year. I want to say, just from the bottom of my heart, thank you for the hard work to get Democrats elected up and down the ticket, because this was a tough year. But before I move on there, I just want to recognize the ongoing tradition of the Multnomah County Democrats with this Celsi dinner. And we have with us tonight members of the Celsi family here at table 4. So round of applause for Dick's family. Because Dick Celsi's legacy is about volunteering and that activism that really makes democracy work, not only here in Multnomah County, but around our state. And you have done just an amazing job getting Democrats elected up and down the ticket. So it was a hard year, kind of, but you were there. And even though it was a hard year and tough election season for a lot of folks, I believe it has made us stronger, it's made us better, because we have some tough things ahead of us to do. I can tell you I am here tonight as your next governor because we had a lot of young voters turn out this election year. Because young voters understood and understand what was at stake in the election. It's about their future, about their planet, about their bodies, about what kind of state they wanted to live in and grow and prosper in. And I just want to say that nationally, our turnout among voters who are age 18 to 29 was about 27%, which is the second highest turnout of that group nationally in 30 years. So 27% nationally is an amazing number, but you know what it was here in Oregon? Almost 42%. We have a lot of Gen Zers here tonight and some members of Teens for Tina. I know Oscar's here and Byron. Who other Teens for Tina here? If you were in Teens for Tina, please stand up. Where's Oscar and Byron? There they are. Hey, there they are. Good to see you. Because it was the Teens for Tina in our high schools and our Students for Tina at our college campuses that worked hard and turned out the vote, and that is why I'm up here tonight. And so thank you for caring so much. Thank you for your energy and commitment, and we have a lot of work to do now, so I hope you'll stick with me. So now the work really begins, and I gotta be honest, I can't wait to get in there and solve problems with the people in this room and Oregonians across our state. Because I'm ready to get to work to make sure our unhoused neighbors can have stability and get off the streets. I'm ready to work to make sure that anyone who needs access to mental health or addiction treatment in the state can get that. And I'm ready to work to make sure every child in this state has the success in school so they can have that bright future. Those are things we all care about. And we gotta get started and get that work done. So I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and make some progress here in the state alongside with you. But it's not just about the issues that we're gonna be focusing on. It's how we're gonna do the work. It's gonna be about building trust across our state. Because honestly, there were a lot of people who didn't vote for me. But we, nonetheless, are all Oregonians, and we have to build that trust. It's also about increasing accountability in our state government and making sure we can deliver essential services with good customer service at the state. And it's also about stronger partnerships with both the private sector and local government, city, county leaders, our school boards. Because honestly, Oregon is not that large, you all know that. And our challenges are huge. And if we don't all work together and collaborate together, we're not gonna solve these issues. So we have to build trust, increase accountability, and have strong partnerships. That's how we're gonna get these jobs done. So I wanna talk a little bit about building trust. I believe the only way to build genuine trust, not only in me as the next governor, but in our state government from top to bottom, is to deliver results on those issues of shared concern. That means delivering results for all of Oregon. Because when every Oregonian, no matter where you are in the state, is healthier, we will be safer and we will be prosperous, and we have to work together to do that work. So that's why I'm launching my One Oregon Listening Tour. I will be visiting every county in Oregon in my first year in office. And the purpose for that is an eye toward building those strong partnerships so we can make progress on housing our neighbors and making sure everyone has mental health and addiction care and making sure we have the best schools possible for our students to succeed. So we just launched a new transition website where you can follow details. We'll have more details of where we're going, but we are starting that tour before I'm sworn in on January 9th. We're gonna be visiting Yamhill County and Douglas County before January 9th. So please be part of that engagement, because it's not just about Multnomah County. It's about the entire state being successful together. So we have a big to-do list in the incoming administration, but I believe if we work together, we will be successful. We will be able to build a stronger, better Oregon for everyone here in our state. But I'm gonna need your help. The campaign is behind us, and collectively we need to bring our values of equity and justice and fairness to the task of solving our challenges. Because we run campaigns to select our leaders. We run campaigns to get to governing. and now it's time to govern. Now it's time to have that state government we need right now for everyone. And we need to come together as Oregonians. And you know what? I know you are all up to that task because you've all worked really hard. You know how to work hard. So let's work hard now to solve those big challenges ahead of us. Because here's what I know. Even when things are hard, Oregonians don't back down. They don't shy away from hard things. We learn to think outside the box and get the job done, because that's who we are as Oregonians. And I am so excited to work with you to move our state forward. There is nothing we can't accomplish together. So thank you for getting us here. Let's get into governing together and celebrate who you are. You have done amazing things this election year. So happy holidays. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Love you all.
Well, thank you, Governor-elect Tina Kotek. I will offer my services if they're at all helpful. I have connections in Malheur County, Harney County, Baker County, Wasco County, and maybe a couple others. So let's take a tour. Thank you. Moses Ross is the fundraising chair of the party. He has been an integral and active voice in pushing for campaign finance reform, the passage of 2 related ballot measures, and he was very active in the Multnomah County Charter Convention or Commission. So with that, Moses.
Good evening, fellow Democrats. God, it's good to see y'all. It really is. So I have the privilege of introducing our Labor Commissioner-elect. But before I do, I want to take just a real quick moment to talk about the workers that are here with us this evening. First of all, I would love it if you could give a big hand to the Portland Hilton staff that is serving our food to us tonight. Thank you all very much for your work. Also, I'd like to give some credit to People's AV that has set up this sound system so that we're nice and clear and that we have these beautiful screens behind us. And so thank you, People's AV. Now, this all relates to workers and to our next our next speaker. You know, BOLI, do people even know what BOLI is? Bureau of Labor. Come on. There we go. It's awfully underestimated and it's sometimes overlooked, State Bureau. And the Labor Commissioner position as well is overlooked sometimes. But we've learned over the past election cycle, as the GOP candidates become more and more extreme, that the basic need to protect workers' rights, employment rights, and access to housing and public accommodation free from discrimination, how important, and it becomes even more important now. So this year, Oregon, we elected a new labor commissioner to take over and who has pledged to uphold and strengthen these principles. Labor Commissioner-elect Christina Stevenson. Now, I do want to point out that in Multnomah County, she received 80% of the vote. Statewide races in Oregon are won in Multnomah County. And so your support here is grateful. I'm grateful for that. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Labor Commissioner-elect Christina Stevenson.
Thank you all so much for being here tonight and the warm welcome. And of course, the first thing I want to say is thank you. I mean, thank you to everybody who got out on the doors, made some calls. I mean, because of you, you just heard 80% of the people in this county voted for me. And so I'm proud to say that in a couple of weeks, I will be your next labor commissioner. So, when I was out on the campaign trail, I found myself often having to explain what on earth a labor commissioner is and what a labor commissioner does. And if you were out on the doors, you probably had to do that as well. And so to get us prepared for the 2026 campaign season, I'm just gonna recap what on earth the labor commissioner is. So the labor commissioner's role is to make sure that we are protecting Oregonian civil rights in the workplace, in housing, and in public spaces, to enforce our wage and hour laws. That's your meal break, your rest break, your overtime. And it's to make sure that we have a highly skilled workforce through our apprenticeship programs. And so the way I think about it is our role at BOLI is to build the workforce of the future. Make sure that when we create these jobs, they're good jobs. Jobs where you're not discriminated against. Jobs where you get paid what you're owed. It's simple, but it's not easy. And looking around, we have no shortage of challenges. We know our current systems are not working, especially when we look at them in terms of racial justice, environmental justice, economic justice. We have a lot to do. But the good news is, we are not passive participants in our lives. We get to choose. We get to choose how we organize ourselves, how we organize our society, and how we organize our state. And since tonight is about celebrating the next generation, I thought I would share some insight from the next generation in my household, which is my 8-year-old son, William. Yeah, give it up for William, 8 years old. He went to 100 events. So on the campaign trail, William came out with me a lot. He heard so many speeches, and he got to hear a lot, from Tina. He got to hear from Andrea and from Jamie, people who inspired him. And it actually started to become something of a game to him, like Pokemon. Like, I got to catch them all. I want to catch all these speeches. And all he needs to meet is Tobias to fill out his statewide elected Pokedex. So he's excited about that. But watching so many of these speeches, he started doing his own. So I remember one time we were in Bend, and he found a little clearing that had literal stumps. And so he popped up on one of those stumps and started giving his impassioned speeches. Yeah, and he started talking about really things like safe schools, fair pay, a clean environment. Really simple stuff, simple, but again, not easy. I think at the core, all of us want the same things for ourselves, for our families, for our friends, for this state. And then the question is, how do we get there? So I asked William what he thought. And you know what he told me? He said, I've got some ideas, but I'm not sure. And that is what I want to celebrate tonight. Humility. Being willing to say, I'm not sure. Sometimes in our world, I think we put a high degree of importance on certainty. I know on the campaign trail, certainty is prized above all else, it seems. And to me, that's funny because I feel like there's a lot of people who are very certain who kind of got us into some of these messes. And the thing is that certainty can lock us out of understanding. Yes, there is something to be said for having a plan, a strategy, a vision, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about how we approach problem solving. I'm talking about how we might be able to learn, have better outcomes if we approach it with a little bit of humility. When we don't have humility, we tend to dig in and drive people away. We get trapped seeking information that just confirms views we already have, and we draw ourselves further and further apart. But that is not what we need. We need more people at the table. We need to bring in perspectives and more ideas to help us solve our problems. People who have been historically marginalized and excluded from decision-making, people from every part of the state, people from every viewpoint and background. We all need to be willing to be open to learning and adjusting our views. And when we start with where we agree, I think we might find that we agree on more than we thought. And again, I know it sounds simple, but I am not saying it is easy. I mean, look, I am an attorney. What I do for a living is fight with people. But I am learning that we can still fight for our values and our beliefs while still leaving room to grow. So over the next 4 years, I'm going to be working on helping to build the workforce of the future, the workforce of the next generation. And I've got some ideas, but I'm open to yours as well. So I hope you'll join me, and together we're going to keep working towards the Oregon that we all want. And we'll do it by being curious, open, and humble. Thank you.
Christina, thank you. Our next, it sounds to me like Boley is going to be in good hands as we move into the future. I do have an announcement to make, though. It's snowing in North Dakota. Does anybody care? Well, the reason that's important is because our award trophies, or whatever they are going to be, are stuck in North Dakota. So tonight, we will be handing out these nice awards, and the real awards will arrive in the future. With that, I'd like to take just a minute to talk about Gladys McCoy, for whom this next award is named. Gladys McCoy's advice was, and should continue to be, your attitude makes a difference. Born in 1928 Atlanta, she experienced segregation and Southern racism. Valuing education, she earned a degree in social work from Talladega College, Alabama's oldest private historical black college. Headed to Boston for graduate school, she made an ugly turn and ended up in Portland, Oregon. The reason that was ugly for her is because in Oregon at the time, the sign said whites only, and it was a thing. But she stayed. Her husband, Bill, became the first African American to serve in the Oregon legislature. Gladys worked at Head Start, completed her master's degree at PSU, and in 1970, in a city where not a single African American had ever served in a position of power, she was elected to the Board of Education, Portland Public Schools. Gladys then went on to be elected to 5 years as county commissioner and 2 terms as county chair. She was the next generation of her time, and with that, we honor her, and I would like to invite Senator Lou Frederick received the award last year, and we would have handed him a trophy tonight, but the trophy's not here, and he couldn't be here, so we're in luck that Danny Cage will be presenting the award to the recipient. Danny Cage is a speaker, a youth organizer. He's advocating for racial justice, education reform, and LGBTQ rights. Starting his activism at an early age by attending protests and rallies, his goal is to build political engagement within the Portland metropolitan area and across Oregon. Danny, you can start moving up this way if you like. He also served as a student representative to the Portland Public School Board of Education Policy Committee, and he's on the Facilities and Operations Committee. While serving on the Policy Committee for Portland Schools, he helped work on the Climate Crisis Response, which is the district's aggressive climate policy. This year, he was appointed by Governor Kate Brown to serve on Oregon's Environmental Justice Council as youth representative and environmental justice issues affecting vulnerable populations. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you. I am honored to give this award of service to someone who took that advice. Commissioner Joanne Hardesty, like Bill and Gladys, were the first. Joanne was a Black woman and was the first Black woman and woman of color to be elected to the Portland City Council. From serving in the Oregon House Legislature to being an executive director, Joanne has over 30 years of being an advocate for communities of color and underserved communities in Portland. But like Gladys said years ago, your attitude makes the difference. Joanne has exemplified this. One of the first interactions I personally had with Joanne Hardesty, and I'm not sure if she remembers this, but I was talking about community-based projects with her on public transit, headed east. She's the only current commissioner who lives east, by the way. She was the seat across from me, wearing her Peabot jacket, reading a book. I was super nervous at first, but after a couple minutes, I had built up the courage and started a conversation with her. This interaction struck me. It struck me not just because she was the transportation commissioner on public transportation, but because conversations with elected officials should be real, should be rooted in advocacy, and it was. But I am just one of the young people who have been moved by Hardesty's actions. Because of the climate crisis, my generation has led walkout after walkout for climate action. Joanne Hardesty has been with us in the streets and had us in mind in the halls of City Hall. From successfully leading Portland's Clean Energy Fund, which invests millions of dollars into communities from clean energy, initiatives, jobs, and schools, and so much more, and is centered with community in mind. She championed the Portland Street Response, which is an alternative to policing, while providing mental health professionals to people experiencing crises, to people, and putting Portland on the map successfully for beginning to rethink public safety. We thank her for serving our community, and just because she was the first, we know she will not be the last. Thank you, Commissioner Hardesty.
I don't know if you know this, but there's a clock in the corner and there's a woman with a hook, so I have to be quick. Let me say how honored I am. Let me say how honored I am to be among you tonight. You look beautiful. And let me just say that democracy is hard work. If it was easy, we'd live today in a very equitable, fair society. And just to be clear, because you know how I don't speak clearly, we have an issue in Oregon and across the nation, and it's called white supremacy. It is built into the DNA of Oregon, and politeness will not make it go away. I was honored when I moved here January 1st, 1990, to meet the first Black political family in the city of Portland. And that was Gladys and Bill McCoy. Yes. It is clear I stand on their shoulders. Anyone who didn't know Gladys and Bill McCoy, let me take a minute and tell you that there is not one white woman who's been elected to the legislature that Bill McCoy did not mentor, either while they were running or after they got elected. That's a fact. That doesn't quite show up in Oregon history books. I can tell you that Gladys McCoy, now let me tell you, I'm a Black woman from Baltimore, Maryland, that moved to Portland, Oregon. And then when I moved here, Gladys McCoy was Multnomah County Chair. Bill McCoy was the state senator. Jim Hill was the state treasurer. Charles Moose was the Portland police chief. Ed Washington was the Metro Council president. And I went, where the heck did I move? Because I saw that there were very few people that looked like me, but these people were the trailblazers. I will tell you that being on a city council, knowing I'm only the third African American to serve there, and the very first African American woman, I will tell you that progressiveness does not come in comfortable spaces. Gladys McCoy and Bill McCoy were the kindest, most polite, most grateful people that I met, that I had the privilege to meet when I moved to Portland. And every time I saw Gladys McCoy, her first question was, how you doing, baby? How's the Black United Fund? Because that was my first job when I got here, right? And she remembered. She remembered what mattered to me. And my job as a public servant was to represent those people who can't afford the dinner here tonight, who don't get more than 2 to 3 minutes at city council meetings or state legislative meetings or Multnomah County board meetings. I knew who I was representing. And let me just say, like Stacey Abrams, like every other Black woman who has chosen to fully embrace who they are, it comes with consequences. But I want you to hear me clearly. I am willing to pay the cost to live in a society that respects and supports and appreciates every man, woman, and child in our community. Right? I will close by saying, it is such an honor for me to receive an award that honors the legacy of Bill and Gladys McCoy. Because I know without them, I would not be standing at this podium this evening. Thank you, Democratic Party of Oregon.
supposed to be here. Maybe somebody took it.
Maybe there's not really an award. They just like,
No, I saw it.
yeah, promises, promises, right? All right, got to be here somewhere. Oh, there I am, at the bottom. Last but not least, right? Thank you all.
So, thank you, Joanne. Isn't it interesting how that's full circle? Full circle. I didn't realize that, and that's very cool. Also, I've been telling my friends that I hope you stay engaged because you've started some very important things that this city needs, and the leadership needs to continue so they don't fall away. So, thank you.
Well, let me just say, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
All right. Well, as I said earlier, I'm no comedian, but lucky for you all, we do have a comedian in the house tonight. I'm the serious guy, he's the comedian. Jaren George was born and raised in New York City. He's based in Portland, and he was voted 2022 as one of Willamette Week's funniest 5 comedians. That same publication also dubbed him Portland's most optimistic comedian. Well, that's cool. We need some optimism. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Jaren George.
All right, how's it going, everyone? Good? Wow. Yes, most optimistic comedian. Yes, I just know the right times to cry sometimes. Okay, all right. Nice corner of the room, my car. Okay, I don't want to let you know. Yes, my name is Jaren. Is there any Jarens here? I always try to check. No, I don't want to get full. Jaren. No? Oh, I saw a hand went up and it quickly went down when I spelled it. Sorry. Okay. Wait. No. No, Jared. This happens a lot. It happens. He tried. It's fine. He's trying to sneak one by. Let me tell you. Like, this is how I know like my name is not too like rare anymore. I was on Facebook, and there was a Jaren that messaged me and all the other Jarens in one group message just to check in with us. All 30 of us in there, and I kind of felt weird about it. I'm not sure, I don't know about you, but like this Jaren is kind of a little bit famous here, so I quickly left that group chat, and then I opened my own group chat, and I invited everyone back into that one. That's how Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Memphis Grizzlies is not returning my calls, but that's okay. That's okay. A little bit about me. I'm recovering from a fractured ankle. All right, hold your applause. Okay. Oh yes, thank you. They like my, yes, good, thank you. Jaren's healthy, thank you, yeah. And anyone want to guess how I fractured my ankle? It was skateboarding. All right, oh, yeah, okay. All right. You know, I told that to someone, he's like, you know what, Jaren, yeah, you're right. You look like the rapper, Tyler, the Creator with the midlife crisis. And I was like, how dare you, okay? All right, oh, good. I don't know, a lot of people know about, okay, this table know what I'm talking about. You know, okay. Yeah, all right. But yeah, I was skateboarding, all right? It was my lunch break. And there was an 18-year-old like working there. And he just kept saying, dude, like when I fell, he was like, dude. I was like, please call the ambulance. And he calls, and I had to give them my information. They asked me how old I am. And quietly, I was like, I'm 36. And he was like, what? I was like, I'm 36. And then the next follow-up question, that's how I know I'm too old to skate. He asked, and you here by yourself? And I was like, yes. It's my lunch break, you know? Gotta take physical therapy. Anyone took physical therapy before? Anyone? All right, yeah. I was a bit nervous because I heard the word like physical therapy, and the thing is, my therapist moved away, so I'm looking for a new one. and I had a hard time trying to make sure I don't separate the physical and the therapy, because when I'm like trying to like learn how to walk again, the physical therapist, like her arms are open, so like when I did a great job, I went for like the hug, and then I had to whisper, my dad never went to my Little League games, like that. I don't know where that came from. I just said it. Took a lot of breaks. We took a lot of breaks during that session. Yeah, I'm doing all right. A little bit more about me. I'm from New York City, born and raised. Thank you. Okay, I thought I heard a boo. Just okay. Wait. Are you saying boo or who? Wait. Okay. All right, man. Scared me. I was like, are you from New Jersey? Because I get that a lot. Okay. All right. No. Okay. No worries. I'm a little bit out of touch. I went back to New York a couple months ago, and I was walking in Central Park with my friends, and this guy was driving a street legal scooter, and I had to get out of the way. And I was just like, oh man, that was my New Yorker moment. That was my, I'm walking here, and I missed it. Do you know what came out? Because I lived in Portland for so long. So when he went by, I did this move. I was like this, oh. Then I whispered to myself, someone's in a rush, in a very passive-aggressive way. And fingertips clutched my chest looking for my pearls, My friends looking at me, is Jaren having a casual heart attack, or he's about to call the sidewalk manager? Who knows, I do miss New York. I do. Yeah, I do like you here, Portland. I'm not sure y'all know about me, but that I used to work in the David Douglas School District. Anyone? Yeah. Man, a lot of jobs, man. Teacher, yeah, give it up for the teachers. I just want to say, yeah, give it up for the teachers. They work hard. Yeah, I worked as a PE teacher for a little bit, and and the thing is, I had to help with recess and stuff. And like when I first worked at this school down in Southeast Portland, the kids learned how to play rock tag. And you ask them like, what's how you play rock tag? I'm asking this kid, and he's just like, well, Mr. G. And then he's like putting rocks in his pocket while he's telling me, like, you see that kid right there? I was like, no. Trying to hold his arm back. And I tell you, I changed that school around. When you get kindergartners how to play Foursquare, and I'm talking about like the hit Foursquare, you could do anything, okay? All right, no catch and drop Foursquare when I started, Then I moved on. I became a computer teacher. Any computer teachers here or past computer teachers? No? Okay, then I'm here to let you know the people who run the schools are the computer teachers, okay? I mean, yeah, the principals are important, but we run technology, all right? How do I know? Let me tell you, like, I was running a computer lab. Anytime there was a kid talking, I was like, who's talking? Lab computer 13, disabled, just like that. I had the power at my command center. And then they would come up to me, I'm sorry, Mr. G. I was like, oh, yeah, I wonder why you're sorry. Your mom took away your tablet? Okay, well, let's make sure we learn better next time. Lab computer 13 enabled, just like that, Oh, and the faculty, the staff, oh, I get respected. Are you kidding me? You're there. If someone, let me tell you, if someone took my lunch from the staff lounge fridge, the Wi-Fi's down, okay? All right? The Wi-Fi's down. There's gonna be a letter or email like, hey, I don't know what to tell you. Some data was stolen. Someone took it and it was not theirs. Once it's back, I think we can get the Wi-Fi back. I'm just kidding. I don't do that. I'm kidding. Working with kids was I won't say it was difficult, but you gotta be like you gotta learn how to use your imagination. Is there any Harry Potter fans here? Yeah, okay, yeah. I knew I'm in Portland. All right. Ravenclaw's my Ravenclaw's at. Oh. Damn, I was thinking at least some Virgos would. Okay, all right. Damn, where's Gryffindor's in the house? Yeah, okay, all right. Let me tell you. Oh, Hufflepuff. I call it the Pepto-Bismol of houses in Harry Potter. Okay, all right. I'm kidding. Yeah, there was a kid who was like really into Harry Potter when I was his check-in buddy when I was working at the school. And every time he wanted to challenge me to a duel, he would pick up a stick, and he's like, I challenge you to a duel, Mr. G. And I'm like, oh, all right, buddy. And I had to do the whole drill. I'm like, all right, I found a stick. And he's just like, I go first. Expelliarmus, you know, and then he tried to hit me with the Expelliarmus spell. I'm just like, oh, you got me, Tim. You got me, all right. And I tried to hit him back. I was like, stupefy. And it's like, and then he tripped and fall. And like all the other kids was watching, and I was like, oh, time out, Timmy, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. And he gets up and picks up his wand, and he pointed at me. His eyes started glazing over, and only my Harry Potter fans know this, but he did the unforgivable curse at me. Yeah, he was just like, I got something for you, Mr. G. Avada Kedavra, boom, like that. I was like, oh. And I stood my ground, because if you know that unforgivable curse, you got to mean it in your heart. And I know he did not mean that. I was like, you didn't mean that, Timmy. I hold the door back for you over there. I was helping you with your homework. You didn't mean that. Still standing, you know. He's like, what? Oh, you're right, Mr. J. I was like, yeah, you better know I'm right. 50 points off Gryffindor, you know. And teacher's like, Jared, we only give him we did 5 or 10 points off. That's a lot. It's like, well, how is he gonna learn, you know? How he's gonna learn? Last thing, I want to, I did say yeah, teacher is awesome. And if anyone ever worked at a summer camp before, yes, give it up for summer camps. I want to say if, I'm not sure if is Campfire here? No? Okay. Campfire is a nonprofit organization. Yeah, they have a camp, Camp Namanu. Really awesome camp. I love the camps here in the West Coast, the East Coast. They have Xboxes for the kids in summer camp, so I'm happy you let the kids sleep under the stars and teach them about how to be independent and stuff. What I want to try to say is summer camps were really important for me when I was a kid and when I was a counselor. Was there any counselors here? Any counselors? Yeah, that was a 24/7 job, man. So I want to tell a quick story. When I was a camp counselor, I was working at this camp in Honesdale, Pennsylvania. That's where, and true story, they filmed Wet Hot American Summer at this camp. Yeah, it's a good movie, yeah. I know, I touched the walls of Bradley Cooper and Amy Poehler, okay, all right. But I worked there for 3 summers, and then I went up to be a unit director. Now, I'm not sure if y'all know about unit directors, but you get some perks with that job. I get the golf cart, yeah, golf cart. Got the walkie-talkie, got the clipboard, what? Yeah, I was all set. The biggest perk for me, because my thing is I love cake a lot, okay? I'm not sure you know this. When I was a kid, my mom had to get a second cake, or else I'm a little bit of a biter when I was a kid, because you would get bit by accident, because I love cake. Yeah, just don't take too many pieces. Anyways, yeah, I had a problem with cake, but my perk is that I would to bring the cake outside from the kitchen when it was a kid's birthday. So it was my job to do that. They made 2 big pans of cake for this kid one time, and I was trying to bring back the second one, but it was like, Jaren, there's too much cake. So what I did was that I wrapped up in foil paper, and then I put it on my golf cart, and then I drove the cake outside to the adventure section of camp, and I put it under a canoe. And every night, no one knew about this, but every week I go back there to feast on it. I got in trouble with the camp director, and he called me in. He was just like, hey, Jaren, we've been filling up your gas tank for your golf cart a lot. Why is that? Like, oh, I was just doing my rounds. That's all, you know? And then he come back a couple of hours later. He's like, Jaren, come with me. So we go to the camp office, into the server room. He shows me he told me to sit down in front of these monitors, and he puts on he press play. And then I'm seeing myself going up to the canoe with getting the cake on the Wednesday. This is when I was in the routine. And I had frosting on my face. And every time I would hear noises, I see myself looking up like this. Like that. So they took away my golf cart, and I still kept the job. And every time I go in the dining hall, everyone looks at me just like, oh, and they went to protect their cake, like, oh, Jaren's here. Like that. Everyone knew about it at camp. Kid found out, and he felt so bad. He was like, Jaren, I want to give you this. And he gave me the smallest piece of cake. And I was just like, Joey, can I get some more? He's like, no, they told me not to get you anymore. So All right. There's no moral of the story here, but I just want to say that every time I go to Safeway, I second guess myself getting the cake every time because everyone's looking at me. Anyways, I'm Jaren George. Hey, thank y'all. Have a good night. Bye.
Jaren George, I like cake too. So I think we could have had the same thing going on as a kid. The next award, or the first award I guess we're giving, second award, the Governor Barbara Roberts Young Democrat Award. I recall when Barbara Roberts and Norma Paulus were women in Oregon politics, at least to this young guy out in Eastern Oregon. I always wanted Governor Roberts to become president. But that didn't happen, but you know what? Governor Roberts is to all of us first woman leader in the House of Representatives, first Democrat elected as Oregon Secretary of State, and the first woman governor of the state of Oregon. Also, she served on the Park Rose and Mount Hood school boards as Multnomah County Commissioner, and she's been involved in developing new leaders through positions at John F. Kennedy School of Government and Mark O. Hatfield School of Government. With that, our Governor, Barbara Roberts.
Thank you very much. I'm not certain about how well the mic is working, so can you hear me? Hooray! Maybe I should stop now. Okay. Last year's winner of the Governor Barbara Roberts Young Democrat Award, Ali Krishnow, did not get her award in person because of COVID. So tonight we wanted to correct that COVID-required omission from last year. But instead of a COVID problem this year, the beautiful new awards that we plan to give out for 3 events tonight, they're stuck in a snowdrift in North Dakota. They will come eventually, and we will eventually give them to last year's awardee and this year's awardee, but right now, they're just cooling their heels in the snowdrift. Let me tell you a quick thing or two about Allie. She has a record of work for the Democratic Party that is absolutely impressive. She was the elected leader for House District 45 in year 22. You can cheer that, that's good. She started the Women's Study Group in 2018, and they've done amazing work in those years. Her leadership list of accomplishments is long and important. Democrats are lucky to have her leadership and her energy in this county. Allie, congratulations, and we have your certificate up here if you would like to come briefly and pick it up. Allie? Here she is. Thank you. Now, that was last year's award, and now we're almost caught up here because this year we're going to do this year's award. This year's recipient of the Governor Barbara Roberts Young Democrat Award, Candace Avalos. I'm going to do this right. Avalos. Did I do it? I don't think I did very well. Candace defines herself, I love this, as a first-generation Black Tina. That is the daughter of Black Americans from the South and Guatemalan immigrants. I think that's just fascinating. I got to hear more about that. But anyway, in addition to her academic successes, of which she has many, her community leadership includes nonprofit work, Portland's Charter Review Commission, Street Roots, and say hooray for Street Roots. and an advisor to student leaders at Portland State University. Candace leads as a Democrat, an academic, an advisor, and a leader that we can all depend on. So I want to congratulate her and invite her to make some brief remarks up here at the podium. If you would, Candace.
Hello, Multnomah County. Thank you so much, Multnomah County Democrats, for this incredible honor. I'm delighted to be in good company with this year's awardees, and the warmth and energy of this room has really nourished me, so thank you. When I received notification of this award, I spent some time reflecting on my deep political roots. My grandparents brought my mom to this country in the 70s from Guatemala to build a new life for our family in Washington, D.C. They worked hard in blue-collar jobs and raised us to be socially and politically conscious. At the age of 18, my mom and her parents became naturalized citizens. And since that moment, not once have they squandered their privilege and right to cast a ballot. My immigrant family got me involved in politics at a very young age, taking me to the polling stations at just 8 years old to hand out pamphlets on Democratic candidates and ballot measures. Watching people come to my elementary school to cast their ballots was invigorating to me. I couldn't wait until it was my turn. I tell you this story because the values of this party were important in shaping my political identity. I have grown up in a political and social ecosystem that wasn't designed to empower people like me, to listen to our voices, to represent our interests, and to understand our needs. But from the moment I cast my very first vote in college for President Barack Obama, hell yeah, a fire was lit inside of me that has only grown stronger. And that moment set me down the path I'm still on today. Here in Portland, I'm proud to be a precinct committee person for HD 45 in a county, woo! And congrats to Allie, my district leader. In a county that works hard to activate voters on issues that elevate the voices of marginalized people and protect our democracy. Whether it was getting out the vote on local governance reform in Portland, or helping to elect Tina Kotek as our next governor, our county shows up to build political power. Civic engagement and organizing our communities does make a difference. We can win, and we do win. I'm sharing this award with the generations of activists who came before me and paved the way for my leadership and my voice, and with the generations after me who are rising to challenge the status quo and set the foundation for the future of our democracy. I'm so grateful for this honor, and I look forward to continuing to build power with all of you. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, thank you. Woo! Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for staying in with us. We've got a little ways more to go. We got started a little late. We're running about that same amount of time late, but we're going to get through it. I want to give everybody an opportunity now to get some exercise maybe. A lot of this kind of got said, but I wanted to take a minute just to recognize everybody that's here. So if you would stand when I call off your category, applause in your mind. Don't applause out loud. We'll do that at the end. Otherwise, we'll be here until midnight. So as we know, when Multnomah County votes, Democrats win. Involving the next generation is the legacy that we have to give them forward. And like I said, please hold your applause. First off, if everyone who's a PCP or a volunteer, stand up and thank you for all that you do. The Celsi chair of the Celsi committee and all the volunteers who helped make this evening a great evening. Thank you, Faith. The admin of the Democratic Party of Multnomah County, Julio Casieja, Marcia Snyder, Lisa Morrison, Gretchen Hollins, Patch Perryman, Aaron Levine, and Britton Taylor. Thank you, guys. Our boots on the ground, Gretchen Holland, Sandra Hansberger, Danielle Stevens, Britton Taylor. The unions who have been here to join us tonight, UFCW 555, IATSE 28 and 488, Boots on the Ground, Northwest Oregon Labor Council, hey, AFT Oregon, Teamsters number 37, IBEW 48, Heat and Frost Insulators. Our elected representatives, Governor Barbara Roberts, Senator Jeff Merkley, Representative Stan Bonamici, Commissioner Sushila Paul, Commissioner Steve, former Commissioner Smith, also a candidate for Congressional District 6, State Representative Janelle Bynum, Tana Sanchez, Rob Nose, Tweet Tran, Dacia Gray, Mark Gamba, Metro President Lynn Peterson couldn't make it, Metro Countine Lewis, Portland Public Schools, Michelle DePass, who we might note was the first black chair of the Portland Public Schools, DPO Chair Casey Hansen, Vice Chair Pete Lee, Vice Chair Rosa Colquitt and Molly Woon, past chairs of Multnomah County, Casey Hansen, myself, and there was someone else. Who is it? I don't think you're here. Okay. Washington County past chairs Rosa Colquitt, Louise Curran, Clackamas County Chair Charles Gallia, the family of Dick Celsi, and the family of Gladys McCoy. I was told somebody would be here, I don't know. And 19 students from Multnomah County Schools. These are young people representing our future from Roosevelt, Ida B. Wells, Benson, Grant, Cleveland, McDaniel, Franklin, Gresham, and Central Catholic. These are our next generation, and thank you, everybody. Now you can applaud, applaud, applaud. And as you know, one of the things we do tonight, Casey Jama also is here. A last minute, but still, I'm glad you made it. One of the things we're here to do tonight is to raise funds to help this party do all the things that we've been talking about and presenting this evening and going forward. With that, don't forget that I said up front to stay for the band. So put that on your calendar, it's gonna be fun. Casey is past chair of the party, and she's currently chair of the Democratic Party of Oregon. Casey is an avid sports fan, a rock chalk Jayhawk. I believe at heart, Casey is always in the trenches kind of person. She has fought the great fight for LGBT rights, the fight to keep personal choice personal, and the fight to ban fluoride mandates in our water. Join me in welcoming Casey Fun Hansen.
Rock chalk, baby. Rock chalk, baby. Woo! All right, so I didn't wear my hat today because Britton said this was business casual. But get it on the camera. It's vote local. Hey, I got a public service announcement. Faith.
Okay, all those people who said they would help me, the spotters, can come up and get a clipboard. Oh, yes, there you go. I know you're there. Okay, this is what you need to do. Oh, there, handing them out. You write down your name, and then you write a record for each donation. You write the item number. No, not the item number. Sorry. Uh,
Oh,
where it says, so it's going to be 1,000, 5,000, those kind of numbers. Then next to that will be, number is very important, the name is very important, and where it says item number, put down how much you're going to pay, give. Thank you very much. Bye.
all right, and she could use some more spotters, so come on up, come on up and see Faith, and she'll give you a private lesson. All right, Multnomah County, you did it! Give yourselves a hand. Woo! So that's why I put the hat on, because it's about voting local. As Laurel said, I was chair of the Multnomah County Democrats for 3 terms between 2008 and 2013, and we really built the party. You know, we worked the Obama races, but we really worked the local races too. And it's so critically important that we do that, because when does the election start? Right after the one before it. So we're already going into 2023. So, you know, you guys have been sitting there for a little while. I want to give you a little practice. Everybody has these. So I want you to pick this up. Yeah, pick one up. Everybody put one in your hand. And then we're going to do a little exercise. Come on, let's see, let's wave the wheat. Come on, let's wave the wheat. Democrats, waving the wheat. There we go. That's looking good. That's looking pretty. Does that feel good? Yeah, you've been sitting there a while. A little aerobics for your arm. All right, I see some people are not into the aerobics at all, but that's okay. All right, so I know there were pens passed out. You're going to adopt an envelope here, folks. Oh, no, she's going to make me put money in it. Listen up. Yes, I would like you to put money in it. However, you're a teammate. You're a teammate of the Multnomah County Democrats. And I understand that everybody's financial situation is different. So what I want you to do is adopt an envelope. And if you pick up one of those pens, on the back where it says thank you, you can write down commitment to 2023. Take that envelope, claim it, write down commitment to 2023. And if you don't have the funds, I get it, but you're part of this great team. So take it upon yourself to find somebody to help support the party. Can you do that? Can you do that? Are you a hard-working Democrat? Let's hear that again. Are you hard-working Democrats? All right, so this is your homework. But some of you will do your homework right here. And I want to tell you why it's important. Another piece of paper. Do you all recognize this? What is this? What is this? What is this? That's the Multnomah County Democratic Party slate card, and I'll tell you what, you all did amazing in this cycle. My God, you let's put it this way, more than 4,000 extra votes because of your work on the slate cards. 4,300 extra votes. That is awesome. Actually tracked it. About half the folks slate the card through our voter action files so we can identify specific voters who received the slate card. And the numbers were amazing. I mean, some of you, you know, and also what's kind of cool, it held out the stats we were figuring kind of by, you know, WAG methods back 10 years ago. You bumped up the Democratic turnout by 5.7%, and that was amazing. But some folks in some districts, I mean, let's give it up. HD 28, Matt Hass, is he in the room? HD 28, Matt Hass, already a good, out in Southwest, already a good voting area, he bumped it up to 89%, almost 90% turnout. In HD 47 in East Portland, Layla and Dean, they worked so hard that the Democratic voters voted, that got slate cards, voted at a rate that was 13.5% higher. 13.5! And out in HD4, almost 10% bump. That kind of makes a difference. And that's what you can do locally. We need to support it. So I'm coming back to that other piece of paper right here. And I hope you can dig in. For those that can do it tonight, for those that can set it up later, Multnomah County needs the financial support to keep these programs going. Because you know what? We're going to win those school board elections come May 2023 too. It's a proven thing that when we walk the doors, when we drop the slate in those school board elections, we sweep. Democrats win. So let's get this started. All right, now let's practice again. You're not committing to anything. Let's practice again. Let's wave, a little exercise. Use your other arm this time. Hey, where's our sponsor tables? Where's our sponsor table? Who of you are here as guests of sponsors? Would you wave? Okay, I know who you are now. I know who you are. You got a free meal, so hey, little hint. So let's get this started. Who can help the Multnomah County Democrats out by a donation of $500 or $1,000 right here, right now? Who's up? Who's up? Number 424, Laurel Robbins. All right. Laurel is in at $500. Is anybody willing to match him? $500, and you can split it. 323, all right. Thank you very much. Who else? I see. 439. Hey, is that Twee? I can't see very well from over. All right, thank you very much. Do we have one more? Those numbers are big. I can see the numbers. I'd love to see your number. All righty. We'll keep going here. So I've got $250. Who's in for $250? I got Moses Ross right there for $250. All right, Moses, here we go. I got Lisa Wenslick in also for $250. All right, who else? We got, I can't quite see your number over there. Is that 300? The mighty 300 over here. Who else? Who's in? I see pointing. Suzanne, Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici. We know who she is. I don't need to see her number. All right. Who else is in? All right. So the next level down. Let's see. The next level down. Let's do the slate cards. 76,000 slate cards. Who's in for $76,000? No? All right. Okay. Let's reduce that to 128. I don't know why, just 128 sounds good. $128. Who's in for that? I see. I need to see your number though. Come on now. All right, you guys here. Here she. 308. I see 308 and 302. Who else is in? 128. I see 447. All right, 447. Anybody else? I see 367. Woo, keep it going. Good job. 356. Oh, we got the 300s going. Anybody with a 4? Hey, 414. Here we go. 128. $128. Coming, going. All right, let's keep it going. Now, let's go back to that. Oh, we got another one? All righty. I'll say the name. I can't see everybody that far. All right. Let's go to that magic 76 number. How about $76? $76, spirit of 76. What do you think, folks? 76 one time. They're going, 76? That's weird. I can't do it that way. All right, let's do this. Anywhere between 50. Oh, that's a nice even number. That sounds much better. Anywhere between 50 and 76. Anywhere between 50 and 76. Let's see ya. Okay, you were in at 128. All right, let me ask you this. The Pillars of the Party is a program that helps support the Multnomah Democrats by consistent donations. $120 a year. It can be split over 12 months of the year, or it can be done in one chunk. 120 bucks or above. Who can become a monthly donor? For as little as 10 bucks or as much as you want. All right. Is that Catherine over there? All right. Okay, hold it. Where's my spotters? Moses? This young man over here. All right. Who else? I need at least 8 more monthly donors. Here we go now. Who's already a monthly donor? Let's show us who you are. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. All right, let's match them up. We need 8 more of these folks, because you know what? You know why we need 8 more? There's one right here. We need 8 more. We need 7 more. 7 more. You're gonna get. I'm 389. 389. 6 more. Let's keep it going. 6 more. 6 more. Guys, this pays for the slate cards. This pays for the programs and the services and the things that you expect Multnomah County Democrats to do. Come on. 6 more. 6 more. $10 a month, folks. $10 a month. There might even be cookies. All righty. All right. So, who can do any amount of a donation tonight via credit card, check, whatever? However little, however big. All right. Hold it high. Hold it high. All right. Let's wave. Let's wave. Okay, folks. Your donations are what makes this local party go. We vote local, we work local, we win local. You put great people, great Democrats in office at the local levels and all the special board positions and the educational board positions, soil, water district, et cetera, and they are also the bench coming forward. So important. So take this. If you're shy tonight, all right, I get it. You're thinking Christmas. Oh my God, I've got so much to spend for Christmas. Put this on your fridge. 2023, commitment to 2023. Can you do that? Can you do that, Democrats? All right, hey, one more thing. We forgot to mention one of our legislators right here, my own legislator, House District Representative Zach Hudson is also in the House. Oh, I have a paddle up here. What am I supposed to use this for? All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Support your local party. Always support the great Multnomah County Democrats. And thank you for everything you do. And thank you for November 8th, 2022.
Thank you, Casey. Speaking of great Democrats, my congressperson in the Congressional District 1, West Portland to the coast, is fabulous Suzanne. Chance to meet at one of her. I don't know, I got to vote for her several times in special nominating conventions, and now she is our great congressperson. She's very active in STEAM and in education and a number of other things. But with that, without further ado, Representative Bonamici.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Laurel. Thank you, Julio. Thank you to everyone here with the Multnomah County Democrats. Are we excited tonight? I tell you, so great to be back here in person and not looking at you little boxes on a screen. I love this. So I also want to say how excited I am to be here celebrating our governor-elect, Tina Kotek, right? So Senator Merkley, Tina Kotek and I started in the state legislature at the same time, and our Speaker of the House was Senator Merkley. So when I saw him here, introduce her tonight, I was just thrilled. And I knew all along, it was a close race, but I know Tina Kotek, and I knew she was going to win, and we're so excited to have her take it over as our governor. So thank you all for helping. That was quite a race, I'll tell you. So the congressional perspective, yes, I am disappointed, needless to say, that the Democrats are not able to stay in the majority in the House. But it's just for short term, because we're 2024, we're gonna win it back. Fortunately, there was no, as Senator Merkley said, a tsunami. There was no red wave, there was a little red ripple. And I'm also excited to say that I am no longer the only woman in the Oregon delegation, right? Pretty exciting, because for the last decade, it's been me and some good guys, you know, but I'm really thrilled that Andrea Salinas is joining us from the new Congressional District 6, Val Hoyle from Congressional District 4. Now, we didn't win the 5th Congressional District this time. We will next time, but I want to everyone just take a moment and give another huge round of applause to Jamie McLeod-Skinner. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you for running such a great race, for all you did. Thank you for stepping up. Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. Yeah. So, Republicans have a really slim majority in the House, and I've been in the minority before. We're going to still work hard to get things done. But I have to tell you, January 3rd is going to be quite a day. Get your popcorn ready, because Kevin McCarthy doesn't have the votes to be Speaker, doesn't have the political savvy to be Speaker. So it's going to be fascinating. So we're going to be watching, we're going to be working hard, and then looking forward to 2024 when we're back in the majority. And let me just take a moment to say thank you to Speaker Pelosi for her years of service as Speaker of the House. I'll tell you, talk about somebody who knows how to get things done. So we have a lot to celebrate. We have a lot to celebrate here in Oregon, and it's thanks to volunteers, activists, people like you who did the really hard, important work, knocking on doors, making phone calls, that get out the vote effort. It's pretty exciting to watch what happened here in Oregon up and down the ballot. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for all you did. So our theme today is celebrating the next generation. I'm excited to say that in Congress, in the House Democratic Caucus, 75% of our members are women, people of color, and or LGBTQ, right? 75%. So we're here celebrating the next generation. That's the theme of today, and the theme of this event, the important theme. And it's, as Democrats, it's critically important that we honor and make space for young people to take a leadership role in our work. And thank you to all the students who are here today, all the young people who are here today. Thank you. I am very much looking forward to serving with some of the amazing new people who are joining us. I mentioned Andrea and Val. I want to give a shout out to Marie Glusenkamp-Perez from across the river, a young mom coming to Congress with her perspective. We picked up that seat. That was pretty exciting. I'm also really looking forward to our first Gen Z representative in Congress, Congressman-elect Maxwell Frost from Florida. Really excited to have him coming, because, you know, it really does take everyone's perspectives and voices around the table. You might have seen that, you know, when the new members come up to Washington, D.C., and they need to find a place to stay, when they get to D.C., Maxwell applied for an apartment, and he was denied because he doesn't have credit. So what a perspective. You know, that's, and member-elect of the U.S. Congress got denied an apartment because of his credit. So he's bringing a perspective. We need to break down those barriers and get more people involved, more young people involved. Young people voted, as you heard, more in this election because they care. They care about the future. They care about climate change. They care about gun violence. They care about education, affordable college, and no student loans, right? We want to make sure that we have debt-free higher education. So those are all really important issues. So I'm really excited about the changes we're seeing with the new voices and the new perspectives. I'm excited that also that after January 3rd, I'll be representing more of Multnomah County. I'm very excited about that with the new district lines. So I'm thrilled. We have challenges, as you heard, but we also have tremendous opportunities. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Multnomah County Democrats, for all you've done and all you will continue to do. I'll see you on the trail and beyond, so enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you, Laurel.
Thank you, Suzanne. Representative Bonamici. Well, thank you for hanging in with us. We do have a little bit more to go, but the namesake of this event is the Dick Celsi celebration. The Dick Celsi Award is given to a PCP, or in this year's case, 2 PCPs, who exemplify the passion of volunteerism that Dick Celsi emulates. He served as 2 terms as county party chair and DPO chair. His parents were from Italy and he was born in Portland, educated at Central Catholic and University of Portland, and taught in the elementary schools for 17 years. From everything I hear, he inspired so many people. So tonight I'm honored to present the last year's Dick Celsi Award to Roberta Yamasu. She comes from Canby. She taught for many years, was a Peace Corps volunteer in Africa, and has been so active in the party, helping get the legislative liaison group off the ground, which helps us become like citizen lobbyists through the Democratic Party to make things happen. And Bobby is now the chair of the Platform, Legislation, and Resolution Committee. Bobby.
Thank you. I have to say that many of us have gotten awards in the past, but getting the Dick Celsi Award was a highlight of my life. So I don't have a lot to say. I said it last year. Yes, it was online, but I do get the privilege of giving the honor this year. And the 2 people who are receiving the Celsi Award this year are certainly you know, they're great people. I count them as both colleagues and friends. Hopefully they see me as in the same way. And I'm going to start with Sally. So Sally Jochen, I first met in 2015 at a CC meeting. At that time I was in House District 42, and she probably doesn't remember that. But I was so glad when I saw her earlier tonight, because you know how you always knew Sally was there? She had on her hat. If she was a little late and we were waiting, you could look out in the parking lot at the old office and go, "Oh, Sally's coming." Even if you didn't see her face, you saw her hat. So Sally has been very active. She's been an ADL for House District 42. She was the chair of the Rules Committee when we did an enormous rewrite of our bylaws and standing rules. She's been on the Platform Committee and committed to the Criminal Justice Study Group as long as we've had one, at least in my view. She really pushes for justice, and lately, because she doesn't evidently have enough to do, she and a few others have started a peace and diplomacy group, which is under the Basic Rights Group. My friend, Sally Jochen.
Thank you. Hold it like this. Okay. What? So when I was a kid in the 1940s, my older sister and I, for several years, played a game we called Operator. We were the town's scribes, the only ones who could write the letters and set up the phone calls for all the residents of our fantasy community. I think that's how I got started with what I've always liked to do, make things happen. People share ideas, and I start thinking, I should organize a group or a meetup. People have all these good ideas that can happen if we do it together. Multnomah Democrats is a welcoming community in which people with ideas for action can pursue them. Some of the collaborations that I'm most proud of are these. Through the Platform Resolutions and Legislation Committee, I continued my prior work on criminal justice reform and later became facilitator of the Criminal Justice Study Group. In 2016, I saw that our county party needed to update their entire bylaws document. I became rules chair, and a diligent crew came on board to tackle this difficult job. A short time later, I initiated a get-together, which resulted in the Racial Inclusivity Work Group, with the mission of increasing the participation of people of color in our organization and increasing internal awareness of relevant racial issues. This year, I initiated another get-together after a Zoom conversation had started about the war in Ukraine. Those PRLC colleagues and I created the Peace and Diplomacy Group, which is exploring U.S. foreign policy and calling for diplomacy over militarism. On the fun side, after another PCP suggested creating a vegan feast for 20 as a fundraiser, I hosted it at my house 3 different times and did behind-the-scenes organizing, and a group of PCP cooks from House District 42 provided a feast that brought in hundreds for Multdems. All these activities came about because PCPs had interests and great ideas. I simply played the role I enjoy of making something happen. I want to thank Multnomah Democrats for honoring me with the 2022 Dick Celsi Award. If I'm receiving it for organizing in or initiating various committees, then I can accept it on behalf of all the activists with whom I have had the privilege of collaborating.
Thank you. And you need this. And
cool.
you'll get your, when it gets here from North Dakota, you'll get your. Okay. This is an unusual year in that we had 2 great recipients. I've known Layla actually longer than I've known Sally. Layla and I first met at something called EPAP, East Portland Action Plan, for those of us who live in East Portland. It's a great group, and they try to get things for East Portland that the rest of the city already has. Layla is an activist. She lives not too far from me. We're both in House District 47. 47, yes. And she is involved in so much, I don't know how she has time for it. So yes, this is about the Dick Celsi Award, but Layla epitomizes volunteerism at every level. She not only does EPAP, she's a member of Division Midway Alliance. She's the representative and on the steering committee for Portland United Against Hate. She's the chair for the Language and Cultural Subcommittee at EPAP. And then she has time to do things like being on the Celsi Committee for Multnomah County Dams, for being a part of the Criminal Justice Study Group. She's been with the Education Study Group as well. I don't know how she does it all. I mean, but she's always there. She's always very active. She's a current ADL for HD 47. Layla, awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. And here's your. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Peace be on all of you. I'm really honored to have this, but I'd like to make this a call for all of you to volunteer in any other ways, a new way this year. You can find lots of things you can do for the Dems, for your neighborhoods, for the different committees that we have. You can belong to a DPO caucus without being an SCC member. We now have tribal sovereignty for the last 4 years, the DPO, and we have the Black Caucus. We have from Multnomah County for the PLRC, we have a Native American study group now, history of anti-Blackness. We have racial inclusivity. We have education. We have so many committees you can be on, and we really need it. We need, excuse me, we have a lot of issues that are coming to light. The plight of the Native American people here, the indigenous people whose land was stolen. We did get a land acknowledgement tonight, which is great. And then we need to do more. Like in the past, some of them have no running water on the reservation. They've had trouble being able to have an address to vote. So many things we can do to help our fellow citizens here. You can do something new. So this is my call to you to do something new this year that you haven't even thought of, and just pick it out of a hat or whatever, something new. And we can do it. It doesn't matter if you're disabled, if you can't do one thing, you can do something else. Now we have Zoom. We can attend meetings from the whole state. So I think and another part of the indigenous, the Native American women, missing and murdered indigenous women, 10 times more than there are any other women that have been lost and murdered, and we don't have them. In the Native American, the Black community, the maternal deaths are way higher than any other group. So many things we need to work on and support. So I ask you, all of you, I'm just one little person from a little village in southern Illinois where I grew up. And I've been around the world, taught English in Saudi Arabia, taught different places. It inspired me, the migrant workers in southern Illinois, to teach them English as a second language. People, when we go here, go there. I taught women at the university in Saudi Arabia. They really respect America. And so it's being fair. Justice is so important for all of us. You can do something new. I ask you, please, just think about it. You can do one more thing. You think, oh, I can't do anymore. It's too much. Try something new. There's nothing gets boring when you do something new all the time, and you'll feel so great. You feel depressed at home or something, get out and help somebody worse off than you are. So this is my call, and I thank you all for this honor. I'm almost in tears. Thank you so much. Maybe just take my right arm. Oh, take my right arm.
Thank you, Layla.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Take Bobby's. Bobby. Okay, here we are. I want to introduce, well, first off, I understand that former Commissioner Loretta Smith has a few words. Hopefully it's less than a minute. It has to be less than a minute, but welcome. This is inserted into the program. And then I'd like to invite up Britton Taylor. Britton Taylor is the communications officer for the party. He is so impressive. He's done so much to make tonight work, along with Faith. And so, Britton, welcome to the stage as well.
Good evening, Democrats. How y'all doing? My name is Loretta Smith, and I'm joined by a group of great women that I've worked with this past year as I ran for Congress. And so the message that I wanted to send to you all, and thank you so much for the Multnomah County Democrats, so goes state elections and local elections, so goes Multnomah County Democrats. Give yourselves a hand. Without the Multnomah County Democrats, we would not have been able to win the governor's seat. Volunteering for many campaigns, making sure our voice has been heard. That's what we do in Multnomah County. So I just want to thank you all because it feels so good to be in a room with Democrats. Couple things. The next generation. You're looking at the next generation. This is what the next generation looks like. In case we've forgotten, we have a tent that's really big. And because of this tent, and because of who we are and the diversity and equity and inclusion that we support, we get the Democratic Party. I want to make sure that we continue to support programs that walk away from anti-Semitism, anti-Blackness, anti-LGBTQ. But we need to change the structural system change in the party. If we want to continue to attract Generation Z, millennials, this coalition, we have to change that structural system. And how we do that is making sure that we do that one big thing. And I don't know if you saw what the president did this last month, which I thought was a game changer. It was a boss move. It was a baller move, as my son says. Did y'all see what the president did last month with the structural change? What he did was he flipped the script on the primaries. He now has South Carolina as the first primary to pick the United States president of America. He put Georgia, Michigan, South Carolina, and Nevada in the first 5. What that's going to do is give us a bigger voice as a minority voter. We're going to have the ability to pick the next president. That was a game-changing, life-changing, once-in-a-generation change that the president did. And what he did was, he was so smooth with it. He changed the bylaws at the DNC. And he made sure that South Carolina was number 1. Just imagine if in 1984, 1980, Jesse Jackson could go to the first primary in South Carolina. 28% of their electorate is African American. Just imagine how our politics and the landscape would have changed if that would have happened. Just imagine what would have happened in 2020 if Kamala and Cory Booker could go to South Carolina first, and could go to Michigan, and could go to Georgia, where places like Stacey Abrams is supporting our electorate. But I want to thank all of you all. That's what I wanted to do, and I want to leave you with this last thing. Democrats, candidates, former candidates, your neighbor, what is going to be our next big boss move for structural system change? And I want to thank our sponsor for giving us this opportunity to speak here today. Could you stand up, please? I'm looking at our sponsor. Mr. Plainfield, thank you so much, because you gave a group of Black women who are very loyal to the Democratic Party, not just locally, but nationally. We vote Democrat 94% of the time. You can depend on us. So I appreciate you for giving us this voice. Thank you.
Thank you for staying engaged, Loretta. I always appreciate what you have to say. I'd like to take just 1 minute to introduce Dan Kaufman before our keynote speaker. Dan Kaufman, his band, he's a PCP, past district leader, assistant district leader. He's conscientious, active, passionate, and an involved citizen. You won't want to miss the music, so hang around. And here we are, Britton Taylor, Communications Officer.
Thanks, Laurel. My name's Britton. I'm the communication chair for the Multnomahs. I'm also from HD 45. Give it up for 45. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I've got the distinct pleasure of introducing tonight's last speaker. 2 years ago, Aidan Kohn-Murphy was still in high school in Washington, D.C. And that's when he founded Gen Z for Change. It's a nonprofit advocacy organization that uses social media and, frankly, a lot of creativity to rally people behind progressive social causes. In a very short amount of time, this organization has become a cultural force, catching the attention of the Biden White House, Uber villain Matt Gaetz, boo. And they've even been parodied on Saturday Night Live. For me, Aidan and Gen Z for Change are very much a source of inspiration. However, I wanted to talk about the fact that it's on all of us to bridge the gap with the younger generations in a meaningful and substantive way. I am 47 years old, and in the Multnomah Democratic Party here in the county, I'm a whippersnapper. It's not great. We have a lot of work to do. Aidan is now 18. He's a freshman at Harvard. I'm very grateful that he made this trip. On Thursday night, he attended the Forbes 30 Under 30 party. Yesterday, he flew across the country, and while he was on the airplane, he wrote his final paper. Tonight, we're very lucky to welcome him to Celsi. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Aidan Kohn-Murphy to the stage.
Thank you so much. Hello, can you hear me now? Perfect. So I am from Washington D.C., but I can confidently say that this is the most democratic room that I've ever been in, and I am absolutely loving it. Thank you so much to the Multnomah County Democratic Party, to Britton Taylor, to all of the incredible people, incredible volunteers, incredible Hilton staff who made this an absolutely amazing night. And thank you all so much for having me. And so before I jump into it, I want to give a quick shout out and thank you to my partner, Xander, with whom I am celebrating our 6-month anniversary tonight. And as a couple with a very deep passion for municipal governance, I cannot imagine a more romantic place to spend our 6-month anniversary. You think I'm joking? I'm not joking. We met over municipal governance. So I want to talk a little bit about Gen Z for Change. So, and I have my little slideshow here. We'll see if this actually works. Okay, there it is. So a little bit about who we are. So we are a coalition of over 500 social media creators and advocates with a combined following of about 500 million people on TikTok alone. And we try to use digital tools to make a tangible difference in people's everyday lives, going beyond simple awareness, which is important, but is one step of the process. And we have an absolutely incredible team that has, for almost 2 years, been doing absolutely incredible and innovative work to change the world and get young people involved in politics. And I'm so excited to share about who we are. This is a little bit of information about us. We are very focused on using social media because whether adults like it or not, or whether it's a good thing or not, this is where young people are getting their information. And if young people are not being reached with the correct information, it is not hard to fall into right-wing disinformation, especially right now. And we all know how that is. So we are trying to meet young people where they are as a coalition of entirely young people. Just some background on us. Some of our partners, we've been very lucky to have attracted some great partnerships, blah, blah, blah. So I want to provide a little bit about me to lead into the organization. So Elizabeth Warren once said that politics are personal. And for me and my journey in civic engagement, that is entirely true. My journey began in 1st grade when the DC Council removed chocolate milk from DC public schools. As a big fan of chocolate milk, this was a deeply personal impact. And after weeks of complaining, my mom, in a very exasperated and very frustrated tone, told me, do something about it. Stop complaining. And I don't think she meant it literally, but I took it literally, and I interviewed everyone in my school compiled a 10-page research outline and testified before the DC Council, trying to get them to put chocolate milk back in DC public schools. And this kind of began my journey into taking the frustrations that I was feeling about social or otherwise problems and using that energy and frustration into action. And this journey continued in 2020 when I decided after the first presidential debate, which was, as you can guess, very provoked a lot of emotions. I decided to organize what I thought would be a phone bank for Joe Biden. And I decided that using TikTok, a platform that I had been active on, to organize and get some of my creator friends involved so we could use our platforms for good was an effective way of doing so. I thought we would have about 10 creators. We would get our followers on Zoom, do a phone bank, that would be it. Things got out of hand in the best way possible, and what began as 10 creators became 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 and 100 and 200 until we were at about 400 creators with a combined following of about 200 million people, all of whom it's a large number, all of whom are saying, put me in, I want to use my platform, I want to do what I can to support Joe Biden and to make progressive change, but I just don't know how. And we tried to provide the tools to do so, to fill this need and this desire to do good that everyone feels in their own way. And you can see some of our results here, but I got a course release from high school, and I spent a month working a not healthy number of hours, which I'm sure many people here are all too familiar with, trying to get young people out to vote and make the case for Joe Biden. And here were some of our metrics. And I think that what I spent a lot of time explaining to adults was actually trying to contextualize these massive numbers. So on election day alone, we made more impressions than political ads made in 2020's entire third quarter, and this was all organic content. And I think that adults can look at a number like 200 million views on this hashtag and say, like, it's impossible to contextualize. Those are people. Those are people behind those screens, and those are hundreds of millions of people in an age demographic that has just been historically hard to reach for Democrats. And I've been incredibly happy over the past 2 years to see more and more candidates embrace social media as a way to appeal to Gen Z, and the results have been incredibly clear. And I think that there is no disputing the incredible action that Gen Z has taken when established political figures come and reach us where we are. And I want to talk, before I talk about Gen Z politically, I want to talk a little bit about the amazing work that we've been up to at Gen Z for Change. So one campaign I want to highlight is Change is Brewing, which was our campaign which stood with striking Starbucks workers to overwhelm, shout out for Starbucks Workers United, to send in over 140,000 false job applications to portals that Starbucks was using to try to hire scabs. Those positions were taken down, and we did similar things with Ralph's when they were trying to hire replacements for striking workers. And I think that what we have seen in the labor movement over the past year has been, and of course for a much longer time, has been absolutely incredible. And I think that Gen Z as a generation has been incredibly instrumental in introducing some of these new tools to revitalize and refocus these issues with incredible support from established labor unions. And I think that another big accomplishment was we raised over $2 million for abortion funds all around the country. in about 48 hours, entirely on social media through small dollar donations. And I think that this is another way in which social media can make things change rapidly and can create social movements out of things that weren't there. And I think another great example has been Florida, student organizing surrounding Don't Say Gay. We have absolutely incredible organizers, one of whom, Jack Petos, was on our team, another of whom, Xander Moritz, my boyfriend who I mentioned earlier, have been doing incredible work to combat the uprising of hatred that we have seen from Florida and Ron DeSantis. Yeah, round of applause. I realize I don't need this. I already introduced myself. And I think that this is another way that social media can be incredibly influential in amplifying the existing work of on-the-ground activists, because it can be very easy to get lost in the social media as a platform rather than what it can be used for, because there are incredible organizers doing on-the-ground work, many of whom are here tonight, and uplifting them should be one of our main priorities as we continue into this new media market. We have a lot of slides. We've been up to a lot, but I'll skip through. Obama, blah, blah, blah. We already applauded for him. We love Obama. We know that. We love Obama. Fighting vaccine disinformation. Fauci, I assume he's also pretty popular in this room. A round of applause for Fauci. And this is another big thing, because as I said earlier, disinformation is incredibly rampant on social media, and luckily we have people in Washington like Jeff Merkley who are actively fighting that, and I think doing a very good job. But it is so easy, and these social media companies make it so easy for disinformation to spread rapidly, and we just have to combat that. And I think this is one very important way. Another very tangible thing that some of you might have heard about was when we took down the pro-life whistleblower tip line in Texas. So these are disruptive actions that are incredibly easy for anyone to get involved in. All you needed to do at the time was to open a code that would automatically send a false tip into this whistleblower tip line, and to overwhelm it with I think we had the script to the B movie, some very, very disturbing Shrek-related imagery. I won't get into that. I was not a part of that stuff. It was, I can't explain it, and I don't need to. But it worked, and the tip line was taken down, and that meant that thousands of people who were seeking abortions would be able to do so without fearing being reported to the state and being prosecuted. Some more cool stuff on unions. A lot of this is on our website that feel free to check out, genzforchange.org, but just wanted to showcase some of our cool union stuff. So Gen Z as an electorate, I think that what Gen Z came out for Democrats in 2018, 2020, and 2022, and you can be sure that we're already preparing to mobilize in 2024. We have proven that Gen Z, we are not just dipping our toes into politics, we are planting our heels. We will bear the brunt of the impacts of climate change. We will bear the brunt of the problems that people before us have left. And it is up to our generations and the generations that follow, and the partnership of prior generations and the people in this room, to change those things, because we just have to, and there is no other options. Our backs are against the walls, and but yet we are still optimistic, because we have seen the incredible work of on-the-ground organizers, and we've seen the incredible goodwill that people are capable of, and we know that our generation will not stop fighting until we achieve a more just world and a more equitable world. So a question that I get a lot is, how do we get young people involved in politics in traditionally older spaces, in the most polite way? And I think that there are three things that I would say to that. I would say, one, meet us where we are, meet us in the middle. Gen Z might not be reached in the same way that previous generations are. You can spend millions of dollars to try to target Gen Z on broadcast television. That won't work. It just won't work. That's not where young people are getting their news. That's not how you're going to reach young people. And reaching young people, and there are these clear avenues, and there are these people who are doing incredible work to reach Gen Z where they are. And I think that leaning into that is something that we are going to hopefully see over the next few years, and it's going to be an incredibly successful tool for Democrats and for progressives. And I think that second, I would be ready and willing to embrace new and innovative solutions, even if they can feel initially uncomfortable. When people were very hesitant about trying TikTok in 2020, I ran Senator Ed Markey's TikTok before I founded Gen Z for Change, and even in a very progressive and youth-dominated campaign, it was an uphill battle to get people to take TikTok seriously. It was an uphill battle when I would say that we were doing work on TikTok, and people would say, "Oh, the children's dancing app," and I would say, there are videos of children dancing, but there is so much more. It was hard for a while to feel taken seriously, but when you deliver results, people have no choice but to take you seriously. And TikTok as a political organizing platform, and young people have delivered those results and proven that they can do it through social media, and I think that has been incredibly helpful. I would also just embrace humility in this. There are things that you will not know how to do. There are areas that you will not understand. But the great news is that if they're focused on youth, there are young people that will understand this and are willing and excited to take on this challenge with you. And I think a great example are the students here from the Multnomah County Schools. So shout out to them. So young people are excited and willing and ready to get involved in politics. And I would say the third thing, to make young people the most effective way, don't just give young people the microphone, give us a seat at the table. That young people are inheriting the challenges that a lot of people here have been fighting for a long time. There is incredibly valuable insight that you all and older generations have to share about their fight over the past many decades. And I think that equipping that, as we are going into a very, very challenging society, that giving us the tools that you've learned and the tools that we'll eventually pass down to future generations to best equip us to fight injustice is going to be crucial. Intergenerational partnership is going to be crucial, and I really compel you all to focus on that as we move forward. So what I would leave you with is that Gen Z is somehow still optimistic. A lot of us are. Not everyone, a lot of us are. But I will say I am optimistic because I have seen the incredible work that young people can do, and I have seen the selflessness and absolute dedication from members of Gen Z for Change, from activists all around the country, on the ground, all around the world. And I would say that we have to get started. We have to start fixing these problems, and we are not going to stop. And I very much hope for your partnership and for your experience and for everything that you have to offer and for everything that we have to offer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, great.
I'll get my papers.
Oh, yeah, great. Thank you, Aidan Kohn-Murphy, the next generation. It's party time. Get a drink, prepare to dance, mingle, talk, just like you would at a bar, because now we're going to have fun. But if you won the silent auction, which you all did, take your stuff home with you. I don't know if it got posted up here or not, that if you won, your name might have gone up there. If not, please ask somebody and take your stuff, because it's a lot harder if we have to hunt you down tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Dan Kaufman, let's party. We're gonna start with just again.
Check, 1, 2. All right. Well, hey, you know, this first song we're going to do here, we're going to kick it up. We are going to make space for dancing if you feel it. And this goes out, this song was inspired, most of the songs we're going to be doing tonight are originals. This song was inspired by the Sunrise Movement and the Hong Kong Youth Movement. So we're definitely about celebrating the youth. also about celebrating our elders as well. Sally, Layla, it's going to take all of us. It's going to take persistence. We've just begun. The kids belong in the street. In the clear sunshine, they are opening the minds of home. And the rest of us people belong with those kids. We're going way beyond the fear and confusion and despair of home. And we'll flow like a river. You know we're out here to deliver. We'll rise like the sun. We gotta get it done. And we just begun. Multnomah County Democrats just begun. The kids, they should be playing in the creek and drinking water clear and clean, not from plastic in machines. No way. And the people will start to see the truth then. That you live and then you die, so you ought to leave it better for the youth. And we'll flow like a river. You know we're out here to deliver. We'll rise like the sun. We gotta get it done. And we just begun. It's just begun. We just begun. Just begun. And the people, they're tuning up the heat now. Well, we may not got the money, but we sure can keep a beat. And them so-called leaders will start to fall in line. Cause when the people start to lead, then that's when we'll turn the tide. Grassroots, and we'll flow like a river. You know we're out here to deliver. Like the sun, we gotta get it done. And we just begun. It's just begun. We just begun. We just begun. Keep it going. We just begun. We just begun. We just begun. Woo! All right, we just begun. We got some songs for you tonight. Okay, I'm gonna move a little bit here. Well, it is a big honor to be here at the Multnomah County Democrats Celsi Awards dinner. Check, check, check. Hey. Hey. All right, just a couple quick adjustments. I need a little more guitar, lead guitar in the monitor here. Check. Well, they were talking about Amazon earlier, and, it makes me think of Jeff Bezos and wants to get out to Mars. We have a perfectly good terraformed planet right here, just great for human life. We're wrecking it. I'd say, yeah, Jeff, Elon, you guys, you go to Mars, all right? Just don't come back. All right, bring me down a little bit in the guitar on the monitor, please. Last guitar. Need a lot less guitar, right? I'm not sure what happened, but. If you wanna go to Mars, oh, don't you really know? If you wanna go to Mars, if you wanna go to Mars, you gotta take a little trip. If you wanna go to Mars, you're gonna need a rocket ship. If you wanna go to Mars, you're gonna have to fly. If you wanna go to Mars, well, you might just have to die. So why would you mess around? Yes, you mess around, and yes, around with me. If you wanna go to Mars. If you gonna go to Mars, well, don't you really know? If you gonna go to Mars, I don't wanna go. If you gonna go to Mars, well, can't you plainly see? If you gotta go to Mars, well, you better let me be. So why would you mess around? Yes, you mess around, and yes, around with me. If you wanna go to Mars. Just a little less guitar, or a good chunk less in the monitor for me right here. All right, my name's Dan Kaufman. This is the Dan Kaufman Band, and I am so proud to be up here with these guys. Great musicians. It is a real honor to be here tonight at the Celsi Awards, celebrating the youth. We were all just very impressed by the young man who just came up and spoke. And I love what Layla had to say. Try something new. That's right. 40 years of Reaganomics, I think we ought to try something new, all right? Well, you had to go to Mars. I tried to tell you not to go. But you had to go to Mars, and it's a real shit show. Well, you had to go to Mars. The story's getting old, you had to go to Mars, and everything is going cold. So why would you mess around? Yes, you mess around, and yes, around with me. Oh, why would you mess around? Yes, you mess around, and yes, around with me. Ooh, if you wanna go to Mars. Woo! All right, by request, we're gonna put something from the end or up front. We're gonna do Folsom Prison. We'll do it in the key of piano. Folsom Prison Blues. By request. I changed up some of the lyrics of this song. I'm sure you've heard. Like I said, most of the songs we're going to do are cover songs, but we do, not cover, most of them are original, but we're going to do some covers, especially from my favorite artists like Johnny Cash, the Man in Black. I hear that train coming around the bend. Ain't seen the sun shining, I don't know when, 'cause I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps rolling on down to San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, now always be a good boy. Don't forget your gun, but I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. What kind of thing is that to do? I hang my head and cry. Oh, well, I bet there's rich folks eating on a fancy dining car. I bet they're drinking coffee, smoking big cigars. I know I had it coming, I just can't be free. But them people keep a moving, and that's what tortures me. Well, if they free me from this prison and that railroad train was mine, you know I'd move it just a little bit farther down the line. Far from Folsom Prison, that's where I long to stay. And then I'd let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. And then I'd let some whistle blow my blue away. All right. All right. The name of this next song is Green Wash. Kind of like a whitewash, kind of like a brainwash. It's marketing. I got a new car. I run it on nuclear power. They say it's so clean and so green that it feels like taking a shower. In the green wash, jumping with me. The green wash is so refreshing. We'll pave the whole planet. Who needs the dirt? And I got a new detergent for the stain on my shirt. And the green wash. Yep, the green wash. I got a new job in clean burning natural gas. You love what it does to the water, baby. Let's see if you can swallow a glass of the green wash. Have one on me. The green wash is so refreshing. And when the good is all gone, we'll have a feather for our head and some green wash. Yes, some green wash. Conquer the planet, there's no stopping that. And when the good is all gone, we'll have a feather for our hat and some green wash. Yep, some green wash. We're expanding all the freeways. Rose Quarter, I-5, Bridge Project. We can't get political here, can we? Let me start it up again. We're expanding all the freeways. We've got to make room for more cars. And when we clog them up again, oh well, at least we'll have some room left on Mars. With our green wash, go there with me. Yeah, the green wash is so refreshing. We'll pave the whole planet, 'cause who needs the dirt? And I got a new detergent for the stain on my shirt. And the green wash. Yep, the green wash. It's like a whitewash, hey Miguel. And a brainwash. It's silent green wash. All right. Well, we do have a dance floor here, but I see that things are kind of winding down a little bit. But we're here to entertain, so you just tell us, you know, I see we have some people listening. We're here to entertain, and that's what we'll do. We got a message. Most of these songs have a message.
Next one.
Yeah, this next one here is called the Naked Bike Ride. Sometime around in June, July, there'll be a big bike ride with thousands of Portlanders, and it's people all over the world because it's a world bike ride, world naked bike ride. I was inspired, I did it. I never thought I'd do something like that, and I did it, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, actually.
Going on a naked bike ride, you won't believe your eyes. Going on a naked bike ride, it's a full moon surprise. Going on a naked bike ride, I got the wind blowing through my hair. Going on a naked bike ride, and it feels so good down there.